the destruction on land, on sea, is not because Allah want all the destruction.
The news you want, when you want it, from the Islam.
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Who is Allah? Maybe we'll
Excuse me, do you believe in God?
Why do we call him Allah?
One more time, everyone.
All people have a relationship to others. And that's the idea that Allah is talking about. Then it comes up to she is always obedient. And then the translators say to her husband, obedient to her husband. Have you ever heard that? Did you try to tell your wife that? No. All right. So exactly what it's talking about is being obedient to Allah. She never will not be obedient to Allah. Some of the sisters have actually contacted us and asked the question, I know I have to be obedient to my husband, but he doesn't want me to even talk to my mother or talk to my father, and I thought I had to be obedient to them. And he told me, no, when you leave them, you have to be obedient to me. But in the Quran, you answer real clear in Surah Luqman. That's chapter 31, verse 16 or 17, something like that. It's telling, Luqman is telling his own son that you take care of your parents, you be obedient to your parents, except if they want you to disobey Allah. Is that right? You've seen that. So how could it be in this case and not in the case in chapter 4 on Nisa, the women? So I would like to emphasize that the translators were not really being very clear. I'm trying to use the best words, not being clear in what they're translating. It came out really bad. Because scourge, if the women are doing something that's really bizarre, not in Islam, it's wide open. It's not specific. It's not that you get on the telephone and talk to a guy, which is not right, but it's not saying that. It's saying bizarre. And if it is bizarre, then what do you do about it? Okay. The people at that time of the Prophet ﷺ, they would beat their wives. They did that. And that was acceptable. Everybody knows that, blah, blah, slap them around, hit them. Because it was considered a put down if a child was born a girl. And especially if it was the first one. The first baby as a girl, take it out in the desert and bury it alive. That's what they did. Yeah. So the Quran is telling them not to do that. But specifically, in this particular case, it's not telling the men to beat their wives. Because if that was the case, they didn't have to be told that. They already did that. If they're doing something bizarre, first step, admonish them. Is that right? Tell them what it is. Hey, don't do that because this is Islam. You gotta, okay, follow Islam. But if they continue, leave the bed. What does that mean? Well, if you don't know, well, study biology a little while and you'll figure it out. So, yeah, leave the bed. It doesn't mean go down to the motel and check in. It means don't have intercourse with them. That's it with the meaning. All right. The next verse, وَضْرِبْهُنَّ. This word is daraba. Daraba has a meaning. Most people will say daraba, hit. Okay? But what do you call it? What do you call it when a batter steps up to the plate, baseball, I'm talking about baseball, and he swings the bat and he misses? What do you call it? Strike. But he missed. So, swinging the hand can be daraba. Walking can be daraba, according to one of the shield. He told me clearly, he stood up and he said, this is daraba. I said, you're going to walk on your wife? He started laughing. He said, no, I'm showing you that daraba has many, many, many uses. As a matter of fact, one of the uses of the word daraba is...
Should we have to take a break for Maghrib? It's a Maghrib time.
All right. I prayed Maghrib yesterday. I did Maghrib yesterday. You're real extreme, man. Do it twice in 1 week. All right, we'll take that break right now, and then we'll come back and finish it up. Inshallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
You're watching The Newsroom, Islam Newsroom. The news you want, when you want it, from the Islamic perspective.
Now we have some websites, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Who is Allah?
Maybe we'll even see somebody enter into Islam.
Excuse me, do you believe in God?
Why do we call him Allah?